My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Many thanks for choosing us. Ghana at least needs to find 61 billion cedis more to fill the deficit in its budget for the 2023 fiscal year, as it plans to spend more than 220 billion cedis. We're asking how government intends to fill that gap as it signs on to the IMF deal, plus the overhead economic challenges. My colleague Kofi J, who is with the research desk, has joined me with more. Kofi, from the budget, how does it look like government can raise that first 61 billion to support the budget deficit?
Well, Aisha, so first we have to look at how much government intends to raise in 2023, which is next year. So that's about 143 billion Ghana cedis, and want to spend close to 220, or 222 billion cedis. This includes amortization and also clearance of, debt on all the arrears that we owe in 2023. But we've been asking the questions. If you look at revenue generation, for instance, what is government looking at in terms of, how to raise revenue to actually close this 61 billion deficit that we actually see coming through in 2023? So if you look at the revenue sources, Aisha, if you look at tax revenue, for instance, out of the 143 billion that government intends to raise in 2023, 112.4 billion is supposed to come from tax revenue. Okay. We know yesterday the E-levy was passed, some changes and then also some maintenance also there. But we know that VAT, which has been raised from 12.5% to 15%, is supposed to rake in 23.7 billion cedis next year. This year, the projected revenue was 14.5 billion. E-levy, we know last year, this year for instance, government wanted to raise 6.95 billion. Revised it downwards to somewhere around 300 million Ghana cedis.
We still couldn't
exactly.
reach
Next year, government wants to raise close to 2.3 billion cedis from e-levies. So if you look at all these, get fund levy about 4.4 billion, and other, tax. So let me walk you through some of the proposals that government, some of the tax measures that government wants to really do in 2023. So they are going to reintroduce, road tolls. Road tolls yes, brings in somewhere 72 million cedis to our coffers every year. They are going to reintroduce road tolls. Also, if you look at, the introduction of, withholding taxes on winning from betting. Okay. So going forward in 2023, if you are someone who engages in betting and you win something on your platform and you are bringing it back into your account, government is intending to tax this as well. Also, there's reintroduction of road toll. I've spoken about that. There's also introduction of taxes on electronic smoking. So shisha and other things, going forward in 2023, government intends to tax all these tax handles. But we've also been looking at expenditure, for instance. Okay. More than 220 billion
will go into.
Exactly. This is the first time we are crossing this threshold. We've never actually budgeted to spend more than 200 billion in a single year. This is the first time we'll be doing that. And line items, for instance, if you look at compensation of employees, it will cost us close to 44.99 billion cedis in 2023. If you also look at interest payments on our loans, it will cost us more than 50 billion cedis. We were looking at the budget and we saw that if you look at payments on our external debt, the interest payments alone could cost Ghana 21 billion cedis in 2023. Wow. So that's what government's actually bent on, making sure that they get the external debt restructured, so that at least we can save the economy some 21 billion cedis in 2023. So government will find ways and means to make sure that the 60 billion, deficit that we have could come down in 2023. Looking at some of the measures that we spoke about.
Oh, of course. So some of the measures is what you've spoken about, the exchange debt program, which already has faced some fierce resistance. I mean, how much will that bring in if government is successful in doing?
So government is looking at somewhere around 100 billion, especially if you look at the the debt exchange program for domestic bond holders. Okay. But we're looking at external as well. It's also supposed to bring us, if we're able to do this, it will bring the budget down to somewhere around 21 billion. Okay. Because if you look at the projected amount we want to spend on interest payments on our external debts, about 21 billion. So if you're able to go to the negotiation table, talk to our external creditors and tell them, look, we will not be able to pay this money as we've planned to do next year. We converted it to cedis using the $1 to ACD given by the Bank of Ghana, and there's somewhere around $2 billion, dollars.
Okay.
And if you are going to use $2 billion to pay for your external, interest payments on external, then it tells you that the $3 billion that you are hoping to get from the IMF, about 87% will be gone.
Will be gone.
By the time that you are done actually
and
paying.
you will still be owing.
And remember that the IMF deal is a 3-year deal.
Okay.
And we've been tracking the data, and we saw that from 2018 to 2021, we pay close to on the average, $1.7 billion every year to settle external interest alone. Okay. If you add amortization, it's about $2.4 billion. Aisha. So it's a dire situation for us as a country. We have to find ways and means to make sure that we reduce the $61 billion, deficit that we actually
we're having for the year 2023. And I'm happy that I've been joined by Professor Lord Mensah. He's Associate Professor of Finance at the University of Ghana Business School. Prof, how does it come across to you that this year, 2023 alone, we are seeking to spend over 200 billion, and we actually have to raise 61 billion cedis in addition, because that's the deficit if we look at how much we intend to spend.
205 billion, I don't know. Within that, you'll find a deficit. It's a gap between what the government intends to spend and what it is able to generate. And we're looking at around 143 billion as government revenue generation. Now, these are all reasons why government is trying to look at, debt exchange to reduce interest payment. So indirectly, if government has to raise the 61 billion, from different sources and it's not possible, government may have to look at the expenditure side and then find a way to reduce the expenditure. And reducing the expenditure indirectly is a way of financing, your deficit. So effectively, that is why government is trying to get this debt exchange that has been hanging on over the past few weeks. And at the same time, looking at external, debt exchange program as well. One thing the government has not been doing, which I think we may have to look at it, and that should be a sacrifice, and it's going to be a political sacrifice, is to how to, reduce discretionary expenditures. Something like the capital expenditure and all. So far, government has not, I'm not seeing government touching on that. Goods and services, if they are within a certain, limits that government can look at it, it should go a long way to help. That will even send a signal to the creditors that, government is sacrificing in one way or the other. So we should also sacrifice to make sure that the economy comes back to its, footing. So, the negotiations that are ongoing on interest payment and then, both internal and external is an indirect way of, deficit financing.
You've spoken about the fact that government needs to cut down expenditure. And we know that the measures that it has...
Not just expenditure, the discretionary expenditure.
We know that... Yes, Prof. So we know that the debt exchange program and all the places that they intend to take monies from, especially from the labor front, who are already against the touching of the pensions fund. But government hasn't given us any roadmap as to how it intends to reduce its own expenditure. I'm talking about reducing the large government size. I'm talking about reducing its spending on some items that people think are frivolous. How do we cross this hurdle?
Yeah, well, like I always say, what is the government exchanging for the debt exchange? It's what the statement I've always been, making. Debt in itself is between two parties, and whatever the case may be, for parties to come into an agreement, there should be a sacrifice from both ends. And so government cannot put the entire, sacrifice onto the creditor. I think, government should show the signal that they are ready to sacrifice one way or the other. And that is, possibly downsizing, which will find a way to reduce goods and services as one of the budget lines. And then also, the capital expenditure that government intends to spend on some of the projects that it intends to do. This is not a time to target, projects that the cash flows may not be immediate. We are in a dire situation of cash. So whatever you are putting the money in, you make sure that you rip it back into the economy within the shortest possible time. So the government needs to rethink and know exactly what they are looking for. It's not a matter of crossing the hurdle. It's about understanding what you are up to.
Professor Lord Mensah is an associate professor of finance at the University of Ghana Business School. He's just made the point the government must also tell us what they are exchanging for the exchange program. Now, MPs have approved an amendment to the controversial E-levy, which sees the tax rate reduced to 1%. Earlier, Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta announced in the 2023 budget that government would remove the daily threshold of 100 cedis. Listen to Chairman of Parliament's Finance Committee, Kweku Kwarteng, presenting the committee's report on the amendment.
Mr. Speaker, your committee, having met with the sponsors of the bill and having convinced ourselves that the bill was good for revenue mobilization, recommends to this House to adopt this report and pass the Electronic Transfer Levy Amendment Bill 2022 into law. Respectfully submitted, Mr. Speaker.
Well, thank you. The ranking.
Spokesperson on Finance, Dr. Kesel Atoforsen, said the minority are reluctantly supporting the amendment because government had backtracked on efforts to remove the daily threshold, but said they wanted that to be increased.
First, to reduce the E-levy rate from 1.5 to 1%. And second, to remove the daily threshold of 100 cedis. Mr. Speaker, we in the minority had indicated strongly that we do not believe that the 100 cedis threshold must be removed. Mr. Speaker, because of a number of reasons. The first is because, Mr. Speaker, the 100 cedi threshold is to, one, protect the vulnerable and to exonerate and to protect them from paying taxes on electronic transfer. However, Mr. Speaker, it is also important for us to understand that the electronic levy, the E-levy itself, at the time they introduced the 100 cedis exemption as a threshold, the currency for the value of the 100 cedis from the time they introduced the tax to today has been eroded. So, Speaker, if you are to use the deflator, the inflation deflator to adjust, it is obvious to know that the 100 cedis, then the value of 100 cedis at the time, in today's time, is about 40-something Ghana cedis. So clearly, I do not see why the ministry will have to remove this. Speaker, what the ministry has done is that they have listened, and in presenting the E-levy bill, so Speaker, clearly they have decided to remove what they had intended to exclude. Speaker, it is important for us to commend them. For at the minimum, they have listened. Speaker, but you see, the other point had to do with the fact that they are reducing the rate to 1%. Speaker, our position is that this tax must be removed completely. But since we are to achieve that position, and government has said that they want to reduce it from 1.5 to 1%, it's our prayer that next year again they reduce it to 0.5, and the following year, in the year 2025, we will completely abolish it completely.
After weeks of signaling its intention to block the approval of an 80 million cedis allocation to fund the National Cathedral project, NDC MPs successfully scuttled the allocation. Government had allocated the amount to fund the controversial project despite public pressure to change course. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta has now withdrawn the allocation. There will be more on that shortly, but first listen to the majority MPs argue in favor of the allocation.
The minority leader has forgotten. I was in an aircraft with him someday, very, very late. And when the aircraft was breaking through the clouds, the turbulence was so much that everybody was shouting, "Oh God, oh Jesus, oh God, oh Allah." That's what was happening. He was there. He himself was shouting. Mr. Speaker, when soldiers are going to war and and they are about to go and fight. Those who are Christians go on their knees to pray to God, and those who are Muslims go on their knees and bow down to pray to Allah. Mr. Speaker, there is nothing more important to us as human beings to believe that there's somebody out there who created us. Is this budget, how much is captured in this budget? And we say that we should spend 80 million cedis on God, and people have a problem with it. I don't. Me and my family, the members on this side don't. And I want the Christian community to know from today that we don't.
This project is estimated to cost $382 million. Mr. Speaker, so far, the amount expended is 339 million Ghana cedis, not dollars. And the last speaker was saying that we have spent more than 30% as envisaged in the construction document. Mr. Speaker, 339 million Ghana cedis is nowhere near 10% of the project cost. So there is no overexpenditure in respect of the construction. Mr. Speaker, the National Cathedral is coming under the Monuments and Museums Board. Mr. Speaker, this is an edifice that will also provide us with the basic infrastructure for tourism as we expect our tourism potential to be harnessed. I want to end by also supporting the budget for this year's pilgrimage so that people from Ghana can also undertake this pilgrimage this year under the budget which we are passing today. So, Mr. Speaker, it is good that our Muslim brothers are in support of this project because we need to equalize and get also something out of the Ghanaian expenditure for our Christian brothers also.
You heard the Defense Minister Dominic Nitiwol, MP for Asante Achim North, and the Apia Kobe. The minority side also forcefully argued that their location was misplaced and should be rejected. Listen to MP for Ningo Prampram Sam George and MP for Asunafo South Eric Opoku.
Start by putting it on record that as an elder of a church and as a Bible-believing Christian, we on this side are not against the building of a cathedral. And this is what the Bible we believe in says to us. In Luke 14:28-30, is there anyone here planning to build a new house, in this case a cathedral, who doesn't first sit down to figure the cost so you know if you can complete it? If you only get the foundation laid, and Mr. Speaker, the Bible is so telling. The Bible knew Ghana will have a president called Akufo-Addo. This is what he says. If you only get the foundation laid and then run out of money, you are going to look pretty foolish. Everyone passing by will poke fun at you. Yes. He started something he couldn't finish. This is the word of the Lord. Don't you look foolish because you have only laid a foundation and run out of money. Mr. Speaker, this is not some church, this is the Bible. You don't go to church. In the Bible, God calls only one man, a man after his own heart. And that man was David, a man after God's own heart. A man that the finance minister aspires to be like in vain. But you see, Mr. Speaker, even when David wanted to build a temple for God, a man he called a man after his own heart. He said, you have blood on your hands. And for that sake, you cannot build me a temple. So he puts together the material for the temple for his son. Mr. Speaker, I end by remembering the lost 8 citizens who lost their lives in the 2020 elections. There is blood on their hand. Can we build a temple for God? Thank you very much.
Then you come here to defend the indefensible. One day, all of us, including Mr. Speaker, will appear before the throne of the Almighty God.
And just before the Speaker will put the question and sensing defeat, Deputy Majority Leader Alexander Fejamakin announced that Finance Minister Kenneth Furiata had accepted to withdraw the allocation and channel same to roads and communications.
With all the concerns raised, we will not shut our eyes to them. I will therefore, Mr. Speaker, end here by inviting this House to patiently wait for the Finance Minister to make a statement. Mr. Speaker, having listened to ourselves on this 80 million cities, Mr. Speaker, it's our proposal to the Finance Minister, which proposal he is not opposed to, that since many of us file questions on roads, we, for the time being, Mr. Speaker, without letting this affect appropriation, Mr. Speaker, Finance Minister is in agreement that that this 80 million will find space in communication and roads. Mr. Speaker, that is going to be, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, that's the beauty of democracy.
Away from Parliament, some residents of Menchia North constituency in the Ashanti region are lamenting poor roads in the area. Traders plying their wares in communities are also alarmed at the health risk caused by the dust from the bad roads. They are asking Member of Parliament for the area, Dr. Matthew Poko Prempe, to help fix their roads. Love FM's Nana Boache Dankwa Yadom has more.
So this is Dr. Mensah Street here at the Menchia North constituency. Traders and occupants of the street over here are complaining about the abstruse state of their road and how it is strengthening their health and their businesses. We would engage some of the traders and know the kind of difficulty they are going through here at the Menchia North constituency.
Dr. Mensah Street, daho nyina mfuturo ase kromu pa wande onante no omehwe said you mfuturo ni ateche pa wo ho no enya agro eni say yes apra Dr. Mensah City na yes ntim da po yesrew wo ye campaign fufuro be wurawura yes store ye shops say wunya wie ye hu bie mo Dr. Mensah tuani bra Dr. Mensah na behwe
so mo ye ni kwano na wo ma ye ashta kwani nyina sa kwa we nkwa wo ma cheja ya ka na pono wati assembly man teda mi ko tu assembly man wo ayi credo yadom and I'm saying actor na mo yes oh my e be ba be enfuturo ye niema ho ye ti ahora enfuturo nko ewura ye tirim e ma che se yare nko
na kwa we no ache eye ne since I do Kuforo MP was no, you started this career was stores no, and a pair in Kofobe Kwano Kakrebi. Since they are Kwano 2 years, be a Mahabium. All the mission, a Satua tax war, and a foot to the hammer for stores. Cabesra Bano, or more, especially your MP Napono Asino, or more no more, I know your Kwano my Achado. On the which I chepa or your Quanoma, a boy, it was asking the foot to Autonoma, what about no money now, foot of Congo? It's your best, no Casacha, no boy.
Nana Poache Dankwa Yadom reporting for JoyNews.
And still in Kumasi, drivers of intercity minibuses under the Ghana Private Road Transport Union are unhappy with are dissatisfied with the notice by the National Road Safety Authority to restrict their movement. This category of motorists are restricted to intra-city services or to routes not exceeding 40 kilometers if they do not refrain from reckless driving. Although the drivers agree the directive is to ensure their safety, they argue the rampant road crashes and fatalities on the Kumasi-Accra highway stems largely from the poor road links and the non-dualization of the road. Love FM's Emmanuel Bright Kweku once again reports.
The festive season and a lot of vehicles, particularly minibuses, will be moving to the southern part of the country, including the Greater Accra and even the eastern region. But a directive from the National Road Safety Authority spells out that if these minibuses do not refrain from the high speeds and reckless overtaking on the Kumasi-Accra highway, they will be compelled to restrict their movement to intra-city. We are here at Asafo to interact with some of these minibus drivers to find out what they make of this directive.
From Accra to Mkwai, 1 week, quite near Baku see accident is any time, but I say we are quite double road. This was the last time an accident is see road.
The Accra Suhum road used to be a single lane, but after dualizing it, there hasn't been any road accidents. The Accra Kumasi road is bad. The leaders know what to do, but they are reluctant. A car can be damaged in the middle of the highway for 3 days. Until there is an accident, it won't be towed away.
Main road, and I do no reflector, no triangle. Na kwani kanisi kwanu da ka bi bekwa kowura saka na se no na de tia no pa na omba beto saka na fisa kwamu ti de bia no aya ne yekra ye dwen wa ye nti ase se ade aya na ye mpani fo no om demand moja brad bi ansana om de aye de so mo fanya na
potros a egu kwamu no.
Potholes are the cause of the road accidents. Some communities also build illegal speed ramps on the roads.
Potholes.
There are no markings on the road. The vehicles have trackers.
Your speed limit won't even come, Rosso. Police.
At every checkpoint, there are police officers. They must check the speed limits of oncoming vehicles. The number plates are identifications for vehicles. Why don't the police write down these numbers and arrest them later than to harass them? The minibuses aren't the only cause. After I heard about the directive, I have reduced my speed limits.
Me call Accra to Kumasi. Me call 80-100. Me feel say I don't know say BBC crew meet me save me my passenger phone.
So these are some passengers traveling from Kumasi to Accra. We've been finding out from them if this directive comes into effect, what is really going to happen to them. So Yansho, also mucha distance and more travel from maybe as a driver is ebeko ejusu ana konongopa ebe hawana.
And the other passengers, you know. Anytime station now
it won't help. There will be congestion at the lorry stations owned by the government.
I'm from Oyoko. I could have boarded a vehicle at Ejusu to Accra, but because these vehicles are not stationed, it would cost me so much.
Passenger car, a very maple, de metu, na mina baby, dear say, Americana, Antoine was no fine good do us.
For drivers and even some passengers here at the Asafo Lorry station, the directive by the National Road Safety Authority is one that will be punitive. They are calling on the authority to institute measures to ensure the strict enforcement of the road safety regulations. They're also calling on the government to fix the poor nature of the roads. From here at Asafo, my name is Emmanuel Bright-Kweku.
We're still live on JoyNews today. Let's take a break. When we return, business.
Let's do business now. My name is Beverly Broom. Now, with Christmas just a few days away, some Ghanaians have been complaining about their budget and how much they are preparing for the celebration. But they say that celebrating Christmas is no longer a priority and they intend to focus on more pressing needs. They spoke to Joy Business.
Usual excitement which accompanies the Christmas season has seen a bit of the downside this year. This development can be attributed to the recent rise and fall of the cedi, which has led to the increase in prices of goods on the market. According to some shoppers, celebrating Christmas is no more a priority due to the current living conditions.
For the prices there, people are complaining. See, somebody will come to town, you want to buy this. Unfortunately, this or the money is not up to, so he's supposed to go back home. And the time he or she will go home, assuming a bag of rice, now 90, 100, 110, after we go to 120. Oil, the same thing. And I won't say, and you no penny did Christmas at Tardian in your money. As I'm talking to you now, I'm a father of twins. If I want to buy something, I'm also thinking about January. After Christmas, the kids are going to school. So I can't spend all my money on Christmas. Then January, I'll go back to square one. So I've planned not to enjoy the Christmas. So I'll stay aside because things are too expensive.
Some shoppers Joy Business spoke to said they are unable to purchase anything for the festive season due to the incessant increase in prices of goods in the market. They added that they plan to avoid making purchases for the festive season this year to focus on more pressing needs in their families.
Right now the things is coming down, but some of the things is not coming down. Right now when I come here to come and buy my daughter's things. But when I buy the things, some of the things are coming down, some of the things are not coming down. I'm selling things. I come and buy the things, some is not down, some is down.
Some traders added that patronage of goods has been low and there have been several complaints from customers about the prices of goods.
Christmas is approaching. They are coming, but those who are coming have been complaining about the prices. They've been coming to town, but they buy it today and then the next day when they come, the prices have changed. So they complain all around. But we are making small sales.
For Joy Business, Jesse Aram, Gbapos report.
Now, a total of 181 unemployed youths in the Agona-Swedro area of the Central Region have graduated from this year's Youth Entrepreneurship Apprenticeship Program. The YAP program is an initiative by financial institutions, Sinapiaba Savings and Loans. Now, training beneficiaries in vocational and technical skills. It is a 3-year training program meant to help tackle the unemployment situation in selected communities in the operational area of Sinapiaba. Prince Apia has more in this report.
The 30th graduation ceremony of the Youth Apprenticeship Program passed out 181 unemployed young people from the Agona-Swedro area and its surrounding communities. Chief Program Officer of Sinapiaba Savings and Loans, Mrs. Owusu Dabo, says the aim is to provide them with job opportunities.
Sinapiaba Youth Apprenticeship Program is meant for the vulnerable youth, those who are less privileged in the society. So what we do is to bring together youth between the ages of 15 to 25 years and then put them in a trade of their choice. So they learn a skill such as dressmaking, hairdressing, mason, carpentry, a trade of their choice. They go through the program for 3 years. And then in between the program period, we also run capacity building trainings for them because the goal is to help them set up when they are done. And then on their own, they can work and then generate income for themselves.
Beneficiaries during this period were trained in selected vocational and technical skills of their choice, which is paid for by the financial institution.
We realize that most of the youths are just running around, involved in all social vices, which is not good for the community. So our goal as an institution, Sinapiaba Savings and Loans, is to be able to bring the youth out of these practices, those social vices that are not good for the for the public and for the community and make them responsible citizens so that they can contribute their quota towards their family, towards their community. The youth today, I would advise that they take vocational and technical skills seriously. It is just as being dressed up in a jacket and suit and being in the office. At the end of the day, you want to generate income to support yourself and your families that you want to have in the future. So whatever your hand finds to do, you have to do it well. So being technical or vocational skill, the most important is that you are doing it well and you are skillful in that area.
Some of the beneficiaries of the Youth Apprenticeship Program, meanwhile, pledge to make good use of the skills they have acquired to help others.
First, I mean to me a cake, me a pastries by a miadum. Maybe 3 years, I am a say me to me a bake cake.
I have learned a lot through this program. I can now bake cake and other pastries. I encourage other ladies to join this program.
When I was saying who they say, Bema, Bonde Idzimu, your bassa Bonde Idzimu.
To two Biafo, say, and then I mean, him so about doing.
He said, I'm going to apply everything I have learned from this training as an auto mechanic.
The relationship manager for Aguna Swedro Sinapiaba Savings and Loans, Martin Nkrumah, entreated Ghanaians to adopt the habit of savings. Over 4,000 less privileged in many societies across the operational areas of the financial institution have benefited from the program since its inception.
And that will be all for business. We have more after the break. My name is Beverly Broom. Do stay with us.
We do sports now on JoyNews today with me, Muftaw Nabila Abdullahi. The Minister of Youth and Sports, Mustafa Youssef, has revealed that government spent 5.1 million out of its budgeted 8.16 million for Ghana's participation in the FIFA World Cup. According to him, there was a surplus of $3 million because of his ministry's prudent management of resources.
Ghana's participation to the World Cup, I informed this House that our estimated budget at the group stage was $8,166,200 United States dollars. Out of this estimated budget, Mr. Speaker, our total expenditure for the group stage participation amounted to $5,171,840 United States dollars. These expenditures covered appearance fee, per diem, flight arrangements, medicals, equipment, logistics, and hospitality. Mr. Speaker, the reason for the surplus of $3 million after our exit from the group stage is as a result of the ministry's prudent management of resources, as well as the ministry's decision to negotiate on qualification bonus for the next round instead of paying winning bonus per match. What this means is that in spite of our blaster defeating South Korea in our second group match, we did not pay any winning bonuses to that win. However, we would have paid qualification bonus to the team had they been able to progress from the group stage of the World Cup, regardless of the results of our matches, the group matches. Mr. Speaker, we have adopted is at motivating the team to go all out and progress from one stage of a competition to the other, and also to ensure prudent management of resources.
That's your sports for now, but we do have more sports stories on my joyonline.com. The news continues right after this.
Hello, family. These days, we are doing hide and seek with our children. It's either they are asleep by the time we get home, or they are going to school and everybody's in a hurry. No family time together. That is why I am going to be part of the Joy FM family party in the park on the 26th of December, Boxing Day. Come with us, bring your family, all the biddy bobs and the biddy babs. Let's have fun together. Family party in the park. 26th, Boxing Day. See ya.
Welcome back to JoyNews today. Now, after having Christmas lunch at home with your family and friends, the next best thing is to continue celebrations on the 26th at Ibrahim Botanical Gardens for Joy FM's family party in the park. There will be music from Kwabena, Kwame Eugene, and so much more. My pizza Sivili is on the grounds and has joined us live with what to expect at the place. Maps, how are preparations going so far? Hello, Maps.
Well, Aisha, preparations are underway. The team was just here to... Aisha, can you hear me? All right, so the team was just here about 15 minutes ago, and they were planning out how the setup is going to be. Behind me is going to be the stage where Kwame Eugene, Kiddy, MOG, Perez Music will be mounting. And of course, our favorite Hits FM and Joy FM DJs will be here playing some of your favorite tunes. And then we also have, obviously, the most iconic helicopter here. You can't say that you're coming to every Botanical Gardens and you don't come and check out this iconic helicopter where this will be, and you'll have an opportunity to take some pictures with your friends and with your family. And next to the helicopter, we will have a children's playground where there'll be face painting, there'll be bouncing castles, and the most important thing, there'll be supervisors, which means that mommy and daddy can relax and actually enjoy the fresh breeze here at Ebri. And then we'll also have a daddy's village. And the daddy's village, if you know, you know. All I have to say is that at the daddy's village, drinks will be flowing and a lot of dancing will be taking place. And the cool thing is that it's only 100 Ghana cedis for a family of 6. You can get your tickets at the front desk of Joy FM, or you can dial *713*003# and then you press 1 and follow the prompts. So it is *713*003#, press 1 and follow the prompts. It's just 100 Ghana cedis for a family of 6, and we can't wait to celebrate Boxing Day with you and your family and friends. This is a perfect opportunity to meet new people, to meet your favorite stars. You'll meet Aisha Ibrahim, you'll meet MFA Pau, Arba Kumsin, Fifi Kumsin. There are so many people to meet. So make sure on Monday, 26th of December, you come and join us from 9 a.m. until your mama calls you. But because your mama will be here, we are sleeping here. We're having the time of our lives here. Over to you, Aisha. We can't wait to see you guys.
Definitely, we can't wait to meet you. You need to make a date with us, and time for Showbiz.
Of course. Becky. Hello to you, Aisha. How
You'll
you doing?
You'll be there too, right?
I will. And something else happened at the yesterday.
Labadi Beach Hotel.
Labadi Beach Hotel. Yes, that's. We have all the highlights from the 9 lessons and carols by Joy FM, which happened at the Labadi Beach Hotel. It was all joy as gospel musicians MOG and Celestine Donko thrilled patrons on the night. Enjoy some highlights. Away from that, Tokyo-based Ghanaian entrepreneur and former executive producer of the late Ebony Rain's Kwabena Opong Opoku, known in Showbiz as Kobe, has revealed plans of investing in the creative arts sector. Speaking in a yet-to-air episode of E-Vibes, Kobe says any talent that catches his attention will get funding from his outfit.
I don't know, to be honest. Like it's Ghana has great talent, and not just Ghana.
I'm calling for your support right here.
It's a lot of good talent I've seen. Yeah. I've heard a lot of people reach out through social media. A whole lot. My Instagram, my Snapchat is going crazy. Yeah. But I don't know if I want to do that now. I think I have a lot of things on my sleeves now. I'm quite very busy with a lot of stuff, and it may depend who might touch my heart.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Okay, well, there's still hope for an investor to come into the industry.
But I really don't mind doing it. It's
I know,
because I love music, and I love the whole entertainment thing. Yeah. I mean, running 3 clubs, or it's all entertainment. So I love this stuff. I still have an artist though. We still have an artist.
Oh, okay.
But he lives in Tokyo.
Great.
Yeah, he's called Frank Guy. He's from Ghana. He lives in Tokyo.
Yeah. How is it going with Frank?
He's very good.
Okay.
Frank Guy is very good. Yeah, he's about to shoot this new music video. He's coming out with a new song, a whole EP and an album. But I've spoken to a few artists ever since I came here. So yeah, maybe something good might come out.
Something might come out. Meanwhile, the communications officer of the National Democratic Congress, Samit Jainfi, held a plush party for his marriage to longtime girlfriend Irene. The event saw Kim Promise, High Life great Kwabwa, and Nasi give patrons a party of a lifetime.
Actually, I didn't even know they were the ones I was going to perform for. I think it was a surprise to me, and then I am glad I performed for them, and then I wish them happy marriage. God bless them. Yes.
I wish them well. I wish them peace, prosperity, good health, and a peaceful and blissful marriage. That's what I wish for them. And watching the couple this evening, you can tell that they are friends, which is the most important thing, and that they will have a happy marriage.
And that would be end Showbiz here on Joy News today. For more Showbiz news, log on to myjoyonline.com. My name is Becky. Good afternoon to you, Aisha.
And my name is Aisha Ibrahim. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. There's more of the news and updates of all the developing stories. Do enjoy the rest of our programs.